We've all heard the shin conditioning methods of kicking metal poles or using a rolling pin to beat your shins to a bloody pulp. But before you go out and shatter your tibia, you might want to consider other options when it comes to hardening your shins. My goal here is to just keep it real. I know that you want rock hard shins that can kick throw baseball bats after a couple days of training, but that's just not going to happen. The Muay Thai shin conditioning tips and methods in this video aren't anything special or super hardcore, but they are definitely the best and most effective ways to turn your shins into bricks. Not to mention, they are also safer than trying to kick down a redwood tree. 1. Be patient, persistent, and resilient. I know what you're thinking. Really, Ryan? Is that your best tip for shin conditioning? Unfortunately, yes. Yes, it is. Believe it or not, there is no overnight magical potion to drink that will help you develop hard, durable shins. There is no way to avoid the inevitable pain that comes from clashing your shin on your opponent's elbow or having your kick checked during an intense sparring session. There's no possible way that your shins will be as hard as buokaz, even after training consistently for more than a year. Sorry to break it to you, but your shins are going to hurt for a while, and you're going to have to get used to it. I've been training for 5+ years and have had over 20 fights, and I still cringe at the idea of having my leg kicks checked. Although my shins have definitely hardened up since I first started training, I'm still always trying to harden them up with the rest of the methods, and in order to get rock hard shins, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of training. Developing a patient, persistent, and resilient mindset will be key to dealing with the initial pain and discomfort you will inevitably feel when you first start kicking. Now that I got this first tip out of the way, we can move on to the physical training exercises that will help harden your shins. 2. Kick the heavy bag. The heavy bag should be your number one tool when it comes to toughening up your shins. Sticking to basic training methods like kicking a heavy bag is crucial to conditioning your shins. It takes time and an insane amount of kicks for your shins to calcify and harden, but in the end, it will be worth it when you are able to deliver hard body kicks that break your opponent's ribs. Not to mention that using the heavy bag will also improve your technique and conditioning as well. If you are relatively new to training Muay Thai, then starting off with a normal heavy bag will work just fine. Doing at least 100 kicks for each leg during each training sessions should be a mandatory part of your routine. But if you feel like you can do more, then do more. After doing your set of kicks, your shins will probably have some kind of stinging sensation. This is a good thing. In time, the nerves in your shins will start to deaden, and the pain won't be nearly as unbearable in a few months. Not to mention, you will also be creating micro fractures in your shins that will rebuild themselves and come back even stronger than before. Even if you are a seasoned fighter, heavy bag training is still super important and should not be overlooked. If you feel like your shins are somewhat conditioned and you want to add more density to the heavy bag to really start testing out your shins, then try adding more clothing, rags, or chopped up inner tubes to the bag. 3. Spar a lot. What better way to condition your shins than testing it out on a training partner's face? In all seriousness, though, sparring is, or should be, a major part of any Nak Muay's training regimen, especially if they plan on stepping into the ring and fighting. There are 2 types of sparring to consider when trying to improve your shin conditioning. 1. Sparring with gear on. If you have sparred before and had your kick checked or blocked with an elbow, then you know that it hurts like a bitch, even with thick shin guards on. Unfortunately, there is no way around avoiding this pain, besides doing it over and over and over again until your shins get more used to it. Even after doing it numerous times, it's still gonna hurt, just hopefully not as much. Besides doing freestyle sparring where you just move around with your partner without any set plans, it's also a smart idea to drill certain set combinations. Throwing combos that involve checking leg kicks or blocking high kicks will help not only with conditioning your shins, but also help your timing, distancing, and technique as well. 2. Sparring without gear. Wait, we should be sparring without gear? Hell yes. Now, by spar, I don't mean go as hard as you would if you were to be wearing full body armor. What I mean is to playfully move around with your training partner in a calm, technical manner so you can work on your combinations and also not worry about curling over in pain from a checked kick. This type of sparring is very common in Thailand, and you'll see the Thais do it even when they aren't at the gym. 4. Lift things up and put them down. In order to support stronger legs, your bones need to get stronger as well. Implementing weightlifting exercises like heavy squats, lunges, cleans, box jumps, and step-ups is a great way to not only help with your bone density, but to also increase your overall strength, explosiveness, and balance. There have been a number of research studies done by universities and individuals that support the thought that weightlifting helps increase bone density. Although results are not 100% conclusive, these case studies make a pretty solid case that you should be doing some weight training to increase your bone strength. 5. Get enough calcium and vitamin D. Every day your body is removing old, crusty bones to replace it with new, sexy ones. Since your bones are constantly developing every day of your life, it's essential to have the right type of nutrients to help in their development. Calcium is one of the key nutrients you need, but without its partner vitamin D, your body won't be able to absorb the calcium which it needs. As long as you eat a healthy, balanced diet, you will be consuming a fair share of calcium and vitamin D to help with your bone development. However, adding some supplements into the mix might not be a bad idea if you feel like you aren't getting enough from your diet. Make sure to be getting around 1,000 milligrams of calcium a day. Hardening your shins to the point where you won't feel any pain takes a ridiculous amount of time and hard work. That being said, you can expect to eventually harden your shins to the point where it doesn't make you want to cry. As long as you put in the work sparring, kicking the heavy bag, and utilizing the other methods of shin conditioning I mentioned earlier, you should be able to dramatically increase the resilience of your shins. Stay constant, stay persistent, and it will only be a matter of time until you are breaking ribs with your body kicks.